Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of Help, I Bought a Farm, Farming Simulator 22, moo to you too. So, in case you haven't already guessed, this video today is going to be about cows. And if you look around here, I've got a lot going on. So I'll do my best to explain how all this stuff works. And hopefully help you understand a bit more about cattle farming in Farming Simulator 22. Right, so what we have here is a small cow pasture, which is available in the store if you press P if you're playing on PC, and construction, sorry I said store, construction menu, and if you click on animals, you'll see on the left here, make sure you've got cows selected, and you've got your small cow pasture. Next you'll have your cow barn. So your small cow pasture, sorry, that holds 15 cattle. Your cow barn holds 45, slightly bigger. Then you've got your large cow barn, holds 80 cows. And then we have the large cow barn with the feeding robot, and I'll cover that a bit later in the video. So if we come back to the small cow pasture, it holds 15 cows. You can see here it's got various, oh moo to you, there's various trigger points. So here is where we can interact and buy or sell our animals. So you open the animal dialogue with R, and we've got at the moment I've got the pasture full of these Holstein cows, 15 of 15 up in the top right corner there. There's different cows we can get. So you've got the brown Swiss, various ages, and if you have a look at the brown Swiss here, it says it's 0 months old. This breed is used for dairy farming and produces milk. Cows like grass, hay and total mix ration. Additionally, they require water. This is a calf, and animals that are healthy and older than 18 months can reproduce. So this cow is 0 months, so it's not going to reproduce. The brown Swiss, 12 months, again, not going to reproduce. There we are, 18 months. This chap right here will reproduce for us. Now it's a dairy cow. And same again with the Holstein, exactly the same price, just a different breed of cow. And again, they're dairy cows. You then have your beef cows, which are the Angus and the Limousine. Again, varying ages you can buy them at. Over time, the cows, so if you buy like say this brown Swiss for example, and it costs you $200, over time the value of that cow will increase, and then you can then sell it for some cash. You can sell the milk from the cows, obviously not from the the beef cows. They don't produce milk. So yeah, you can sell their milk. And also anything that eats poops, so you can do stuff with their manure. That cows technically don't create manure, they create slurry. So this over here, this is a manure silo. It's been here for quite a while. I did it just as a test to check if cows actually did produce manure, but they don't. We create silage, and we can store that over there in the silage. I'll cover that a bit later in the video. Now in these small pastures, we'll have a look at our animals. So this is the animals I've got in the small cow pasture there. Productivity is 100%. Water, I've got water in. They're producing milk, but they're not producing any slurry. So in the small cow pastures, you won't get any slurry. Is almost ready to start reproducing, and I'm feeding it at the moment total mix rations. The total mix ration is giving it 100% effectiveness, so it's going to produce quite a lot of milk for us depending on what we feed it. Grass only 40% and hay is 80%. So if we want to buy some cows, we'll just go into the animal dialog box here, and select what cow you want to buy. I'll actually sell a couple here just to show you how you sell them as well. Sell 5. Okay, so I'm going to sell 5 for $4,254. So at the moment, these are worth $937. I can then buy another 5 younger ones, $1,250. That's how we make our money selling cattle. Feeding and getting them water is fairly simple. So here's a tractor I prepared earlier with a trailer load of water, and you just drive it up to the trigger point. And hopefully this works, because this one has been a bit dodgy with me. There we go, and press I to start overloading the water. Now, as I mentioned, the cows prefer to eat the total mix ration. You get better productivity if you feed them total mix ration. I do have a video on how to make the total mix ration. I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll put a card on top of the screen, top right corner of the screen for you. But what I've got here is a factory that makes the total mix ration for me. This is a mod. I'll put a link in the description to this mod as well if you're interested. And for this mod, you can't really fit a big tractor underneath, or a big trailer, so I tend to use this a small tractor and a small trailer just to fit under. Again, available in the store. Got vehicles, small tractors, and they come in loads of different shapes and sizes, of course. My favourite one was, I think it's that guy there I got. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it was that one there, because it had the bigger horsepower engine, just to make sure I could pull quite a heavy trailer. And then once you've got your total mix ration, it's just a case of, if this works, driving up to the trigger point. Oh, oh. We go, and overload. It's not going to take a lot because there's still feed in there. So that's the small cow pasture. We now have the cow barn, which is slightly bigger. Get back to construction, we'll show you that again. Animals, cows, the cow barn, and it holds 45. Again, the trigger point here, you can buy and sell your cattle. This trigger point is where we collect the milk, if you have milk cows. Through this door here is where you'll find your cattle come to feed, and then out the back there in the fields where they graze. And then this pipe here is where you'll collect the slurry. And I'll just show you how we feed the cows in the cow barn. Just make sure your trailer is tipping at the appropriate side. So for me it'll be the left side coming in this door. And again, I picked an appropriate size tractor and trailer to come in here. The bigger tractor and trailers can fit in here. But I just prefer to use these smaller ones. Then to unload your feed. Right, here's the larger cow barn, which holds 80. And again, I'll just show you in the store. Construction, animals, cows. Yeah, there you are, 80. And it's exactly the same as the smaller one there. You've got the trigger point to buy and sell your animals. This is the trigger point to collect your milk. And don't worry, later in the video I'll show you how that's done. Same again, open the door to come through and feed them. And again we have the trigger point to collect the silage. No, the slurry. And again then we have the large cow barn with the feeding robot. That's the feeding robot in there. I'll just cover that in a few moments. Exactly the same as the large cow barn, holds 80 cows, trigger point for your buying and selling the animals. Collect your milk from here. You see I've got some feed in here already. This is the feed here, and you'll see it filling along the edge there. Cows will come in and feed here. I'll buy some cows for this barn and show you. Just show you how the feeding robot works. And then again there's how you collect your slurry. So here's the feeding robot. That's the robot there. And that red thing in there. And then you've got this collection arm here. Your feed goes in here. So in here you've got your that's your silage. Just can I pick that up? Got a mod to allow me to pick up bales. There we go. And just throw that in there. You can use the bales or you can use trailer loads of silage. It doesn't really matter. And we've got straw. We've got quite a lot of straw in there already. That's probably not gonna, yeah, it'll just lie in there. And then you've got your hay. And again, if you want to check out my video on creating the total mix ration, I'll leave a link in the description. In addition to all those components, you need mineral feed, and this is your action point here for your mineral feed. That's the icon there for it, and presumably it stores in this kind of tower thing here. So again, just drop it there and you'll see the bags disappearing and the mineral feed is going into storage. Let's get some cattle in here and then we'll get hopefully get the feeding robot working. So open the dialogue and we'll go with dairy cows again. I'll just use the younger ones, the cheaper ones. And 60 will be enough. It holds 80, but actually I don't have a lot of feed left, so I'll put it to 40. Okay, there we go. So we now have our cattle, dairy cows, and they should be coming in here to feed momentarily. Now the feeding robot will trigger on the hour, so I'll speed up the game time. Good thing about PC, we can use the 7 and 8 keys to speed it up without having to go into the options. Speed that up till we get to 9 o'clock and you'll see the feeding robot in action. Let's slow it down a bit. There we go, and the cover comes over and you see there the feeding arm's coming along. It's going to pick up the silage and it should drop it into the bin. And then same again with the straw and the hay. And then what you'll see is the feeding robot will come out this door here and work its way around into the barn through that door. I'll go and meet the robot on the other side. You should see it coming in that door there. We come in the door here, down there. Come up here, turn it, and then go back down that way. and feed the cows. It's quite slow, isn't it? But at least this way you don't have to worry about making the total mixed ration. You just have to get the components and throw it in there, and then the robot will do it for you. Depending on how many cows you've got, they do eat quite a lot. I'm running an experiment over here with these. I've got 4 other barns with 4 different types of cows, and I'll explain that to you in a moment. But there we go, there's the robot. You see it's just moo to you, dropping the feed there, you see on the floor. Okay. So there we go, on the hour, every hour, as long as you've got feed in there. Obviously, if you don't have any feed, the cows won't produce, well, in this case, they won't produce milk, and they won't produce the slurry for you. Now let's take a look at this little experiment that I've got going on. So here we have our dairy cows, and that one there, and a different breed of dairy cows in there, and these here are the beef cows. So let's take a look at the cows. Right, have a look at the limousine. Actually, let's go to the trigger point for these limousines. Okay. Right, this is the brown Swiss. Fair enough, that'll do. So the brown Swiss, you buy these, well, I've been buying them for $200 just at 0 months. Now, it's a dairy cow, same as a Holstein. They need to be at least 12 months before they'll create milk. You'll still get slurry if you feed them appropriately, but you won't get any milk until they're at least 12 months. Just bear that in mind when you start your cattle farm. So the brown Swiss and the Holstein, both at 0 months, $200 each. If we have a look at the cows that I have, so that's the one with the feeding robot. Okay, so there's the large barn, and this is my Holsteins. And now I've been feeding these guys total mixed ration. So the total capacity, the effectiveness, 100%. You see the hay is 80%. Grass is 40%. Now they're 15 months old. They've been making slurry and they've been making milk on total mixed ration. Now the brown Swiss, 15 months old, but I've been feeding them hay. They still make slurry and they still make milk, but if you notice, they don't make quite so much. Let's take a look at the milk. 13,140 litres, 16,425 litres. Same with the slurry. You get more from the Holsteins because they are on the better feed. However, the value of these cattle is still the same. So bear that in mind. You don't always need to feed your cattle the total mixed ration. The value of the cow is exactly the same. Now if we take a look at these beef cows, okay, so I've got the Angus. You buy them young, $300, 0 months. And exactly the same. Limousines, exactly the same, $300, 0 months. However, the food will vary the value of your beef cows. So if we have a look at the Angus, I've been feeding the Angus. They are 19 months old. They are ready to reproduce. It'll take up, once that gets to 100%, they'll reproduce. I'm feeding them total mixed ration with 100% effectiveness. They've made a load of slurry. Obviously, they don't make milk because it's a beef cow. If you look at the limousine, I have never fed the limousine at all. Don't worry, your animals don't die if you don't feed them. They just won't produce anything. No slurry, obviously no milk because it's a beef cow. But it also affects the value of the cow. So you see I've got 14 limousines, 14 Anguses. The limousine has never been fed. It's $969, 19 months old. And the Angus, 19 months old, who's been on the total mix ration, is now worth $2,422. So that's quite a profit over a number of months, I suppose. $300, and 19 months later I could sell it for $2,400. So that basically shows us that it does matter what you feed your cattle, but you don't always have to feed them the total mix ration. You can save a lot of time and a lot of money if you just feed, say, your beef cattle, for example, just feed them hay. But obviously if you want to produce a lot of milk, you want to feed your dairy cattle, you want to feed them the total mix ration. So now I'll just show you how we collect and what we do with the slurry. Well, first of all, we could do the milk, couldn't we? Milk. Here's my milk tanker. Now you can get these in varying sizes. We'll go and collect the milk from the small cow pasture first of all. And again, all we need, I really need to sort that ground there. Just drive up to the trigger point. Oh. He says, come on then. Right, why is the trigger point not working? You do honestly just drive up to the trigger point. I don't know why it's not working. Right, scratch that. Let's go and get the. Just get. That's the idea. You just drive your tanker in there. Well, we'll just go and get the milk from our larger barn here. It's much easier. Oh, that's where I went wrong. I was waiting for the icon popping up in the bottom of the screen. It's actually just changes in the control panel. Right, there we go. So we'll just collect some milk there. Easy peasy. Then we can take that away and sell it. We can sell that to the dairy, the bakery, and I believe we can sell it to the animal dealer. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is that here? Yeah. Milk. Oh, it's the farmer's market. My bad. So the bakery, the dairy, and the farmer's market. Again, your tankers come in different shapes and sizes. And here's some I made earlier. This is our cattle transportation. I'll cover that towards the end of the video. But again, my giant milk tanker here. It can be used for milk or water. You can buy these in the store. You find them. Oh, wrong button. You find them in the store under tools, under animals, and then this one obviously only holds water. Only holds water. So the bigger ones here, that can hold milk, water. I think it's pesticide and herbicide. Same again, the bigger one, and then you've got these different tools there. Exactly the same idea, you just drive your tanker up. Let's try the trigger point for the small one just to make sure that actually does work. Yeah, there we go, start filling the milk. I was just being a retard. Okay then, so that's the idea on the milk. Now, assuming you're going to feed your cows, they're going to make silage. And your small cow pasture, again, the cows won't make no silage, slurry. Your cows won't produce any slurry. I'm assuming that's because the slurry then just soaks back into the ground. But we get slurry in the bigger barns. So this is a smaller slurry tanker that you got available in the store. So say slurry tanks, and this one here is just a small one, but they come in varying sizes. So I'll just dump that there for now because I have a larger one here, which I prefer to use. Okay, and if you notice, this larger one comes with an attachment, and that attachment is what is going to allow us to spread the slurry over our crops to fertilise our crops. And then R to start filling. Oh, fantastic, there's loads of slurry in there, we're full up. And I have a field over here of potatoes, which doesn't really need fertilised, but I'll just fertilise it anyway to show you how it works. So X to unfold. This one's going to be a bit big. And B to turn it on, and away we go. Did I just turn that on? Okay, maybe it's not going to do it because these don't actually need fertilised. Just fold this up for the time being. I'll show you in the smaller one. Right. Let's try again. So we can turn on the slurry tanker. This one here has got an option. I didn't notice if the bigger one had it actually. To apply a double application. So if you remember from you've seen my previous video on how to get 100% yield from your crops, you need to apply two layers of fertilizer. This button here, if you press, will effectively allow you to apply the double layer of fertilizer. And all you do is press B to switch it on, and the fertilizer comes out the back. Fertilize your crops. Brilliant, you can apply a double layer with that. I don't know why that other one didn't work. I'm going to try it again because I've got a sneaky suspicion I forgot to actually lower the sprayer. Let's unfold it. It might. That's strange. Okay then. Don't know why that's not working. We'll need to investigate that. But that's not all we can do with the slurry. We can use it to fertilise our crops, but we can store it for later use. So I'll just show you down here. There's one I prepared earlier. So I have here as a slurry, I think it's a slurry silo or a slurry tanker. Let's see what it's called. It's in construction. Silos. Liquid manure. Liquid manure tank. Slurry, in other words. That's the exact one there that I've got. There are other ones available if you have the... that's it there, I think. Liquid manure, yeah, for the pumps and hoses pack. But if you don't have the pumps and hoses DLC, you have the standard liquid manure tank there. It holds 500,000 litres. And we just bring our tanker up to the trigger point. And we press I to start overloading. Alternatively, if you then want to fill your slurry tanker up again to go and fertilise your fields, you just come back here to the trigger point and refill your tanker. Now what I also have is this strange looking building here. And what this is doing is separating the manure from the slurry. So it creates separated manure. So that's available again, oh, wrong button, in the store, under construction. And if I remember right, it was under production. Yeah, there we go. So it's called a stationary separator. It holds 45,000 litres. It costs $60,000 to build it, and it's only available in the pumps and hoses pack. Again, what it does is separates the manure from the slurry. But it has to be in proximity to your liquid manure tank. It can be a bit further away. I think when you build it, it shows you it's got like a circle or an area where you need to. Yeah, there we go. So your slurry tank or your liquid manure tank needs to be within that circle when you place it, and then it'll allow you to transfer that slurry or liquid manure into the separator. You just come along here to activate or deactivate at this trigger point. And we can see it coming out there. Little droplets of poop. Once you've got your separated manure, here's some I shoveled up earlier, we can transfer that into a different type of spreader. Okay, we can just tip it in there. I've got some in there already, so I'm not going to put that in. But you get the idea. And then the same as the liquid manure, we can activate to apply the double rate, or just keep it as the single rate. Oh, need to unfold first, X. And then it'll spread the manure over our crops. In addition to spreading it over the crops, we can sell it. And we can sell that to the biogas plant, which is, should be here. Yeah, biogas plant. Go and visit that. And then we just dump our separated manure into these bins here. If we look at our prices tool, for the separated manure somewhere, should be down the bottom. Yeah, so we can sell our slurry as well to the biogas plant. Manure, digestate, where's the separated manure? Have I gone past it? Oh, there it is. Oh, the separated manure goes to the animal dealer. That's my bad. Yeah, so we'll sell that up to the animal dealer rather than the biogas plant. So you can sell your slurry to the biogas plant and your separated manure up to the animal dealer. Or you can use both to fertilise your fields for your grass to feed your cattle. Right, so if you remember that our cattle don't reproduce until they reach 18 months old. Let's see, these Anguses are getting pretty close to getting ready for reproduction. That'll be maybe another month or two before it gets up to 100%. And then once it reaches 100%, these Angus cows will just magically double. We've got 40 Anguses at the minute, and in a few months' time they'll just multiply to 80. However, if you already have 80 and they're ready to reproduce, you might want to think about moving some of them from one barn into another barn. And this is how you would do that. So, in the store, we have, oh, wrong button again. In the store. No, what am I doing? Right, there we go. In the store, we've got trailers, animals, or animal transport, sorry. This is the one I've got here, the Silver Star. The Silver Star, it's fine, that's funny. It holds 12 pieces of cow, 36 pieces of pig, or 38 pieces of sheep. No, not whole sheep, not whole pigs, just pieces of them. And this one here is just for horses, and that one as well. So we just drive this up to the trigger point and press R to open the animal dialog when prompted. And you'll see I've got 40 Anguses, but I only can hold 12. I don't want 12, let's take 10. I like nice round numbers. And then we can press spacebar to move them to the trailer. And then we can move them into another barn, which I'm not going to bother doing, but just drive up to the trigger point again of your target barn and move them back to the husbandry. So there we have it, folks. I think that is everything I had intended in covering today with regards to cattle farming. Hopefully this has been an informative video for you. If you think I've missed anything, or if you've got any other questions, please leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. But if you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe and leave a like. That'll really help me build this channel along. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for staying this long if you're still here, and hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.